Welcome to Asian Star Trend, where every heartbeat becomes a story, and every story leaves a mark. Today, we invite you to experience a journey unlike any other, a cinematic tale that has captured hearts across the continent. The Fish and the Dragon isn't just a short drama, it's an emotional odyssey into the kind of love that feels faded, timeless, and powerfully raw. At the center of it all are Yulong and Mei Mei, two rising stars whose on-screen chemistry transcends fiction. When they come together, the screen doesn't just light up, it breathes. The moment Mei Mei appeared in her ethereal wedding dress, a hush fell over fans. Was it a scene, or was it something more? A reflection of real emotion beneath layers of storytelling? This isn't a tale of grand gestures or clichés. The Fish and the Dragon is about love found in silence, in glances, in the space between words. It's about the courage to be vulnerable, and the quiet strength it takes to choose each other every day. As you watch their story unfold, prepare to feel seen. Because this isn't just about Yulong and Mei Mei, it's about all of us. About how we love, how we hope, and how we fight for connection in a world that moves too fast. Stay with us as we unravel the story behind the magic and discover why The Fish and the Dragon is not just a film, but a feeling. The moment time stood still the first time Yulong laid eyes on Mei Mei in her wedding gown, the world seemed to hold its breath. The noise, the lights, the crowd all melted away, leaving just the two of them suspended in a golden hush. In that fleeting, radiant silence, he didn't just see beauty. He saw forever. The gown shimmered with a quiet grace, its delicate fabric whispering what words could never fully capture. Every fold, every movement spoke with fierce softness, a vow, unspoken yet absolute. I am yours. It was more than a scene. It was a moment carved outside of time. The kind that divides a life into everything that came before, and everything that must follow. For Yulong, nothing would ever be the same. Moments like this are rare. They don't announce themselves. They slip in through the cracks of everyday life and settle into the soul. But when they do appear, they rewrite everything we thought we knew about love. The Fish and the Dragon gave us many beautiful images, but this one, this quiet explosion of emotion, remains unforgettable. Because sometimes, the most powerful love stories are told without a single word. The dress that held dreams. It wasn't just a wedding gown. It was a vessel of quiet hopes, a tapestry woven from whispered wishes and long-held dreams. When young Mei Mei stood before the mirror, draped in white, time seemed to blur. In that moment, she wasn't just a bride. She was every version of herself, the girl who once imagined, the woman who dared to believe. The soft flow of the fabric, the elegant curve of the silhouette, all of it shimmered with promise. What stared back at her wasn't simply a reflection, it was a soul on the edge of a leap, ready to trust, to love, to begin. That dress carried more than lace and thread. It carried tradition, hope, and the powerful heartbeat of a new chapter. It was not merely worn, it was lived. A symbol not only of ceremony, but of transformation, because sometimes, a single dress doesn't just mark a moment, it becomes one. Yulong's tears, and the truth in silence. Yulong had always been the composed one, calm, measured, a man whose silence spoke louder than any grand declaration. But in that moment, as he saw Mei Mei walk toward him in her wedding gown, the unshakable exterior cracked. A single tear slipped down his cheek, quiet, unannounced, and yet louder than any vow. It wasn't sorrow. It was the weight of wonder, of gratitude so overwhelming that even breath felt sacred. In the stillness, something ancient stirred, and knowing that needed no words. His soul met hers in perfect, silent resonance. In Mei Mei's eyes, Yulong no longer saw the world's perception of him, not the actor, not the public figure. He saw himself stripped bare, a man in love, wholly and irreversibly. It was a moment that didn't need a soundtrack, because the silence said everything. The transformation of Mei Mei. Audiences had always adored Mei Mei for her playful glow, the way her smile disarmed, the effortless warmth she brought into every room. But on this day, something shifted. Draped in her dream dress, she seemed to step out of girlhood and into something timeless. The sparkle remained, but now it burned with quiet strength. Her innocence hadn't disappeared, it had deepened. What stood before the world was not just a beautiful bride, but a woman transformed by love, shaped not by fame, but by the courage to feel, to grow, and to give her heart completely. It was no longer just about who she had been. It was about who she had become. More than just a dress to Yulong, It was never just fabric and thread. Every delicate bead, every flowing contour of Mei Mei's gown spoke in a language only the heart could understand. It was a love letter stitched not with silk, but with memories of stolen glances, shared secrets, and dreams quietly nurtured between the chaos of fame and the calm of knowing. As she turned, a light danced across the gown's intricate patterns, each shimmer a quiet echo of laughter shared in the dark, of promises made without words. In that moment, Yu Long realized, this wasn't merely a ceremony, this was the beginning of something sacred. The dress carried more than elegance. It held the weight of their past, the promise of their future, and the unspoken vow to build a life that would grow through joy, through struggle, through everything together. The magic between them, what lingered in the air, wasn't the noise of celebration. It was something far rarer. It was the quiet, breathtaking magic of two souls in perfect alignment. There were no grand gestures, no sweeping music. Just Mei Mei's hand rising gently in the stillness, so simple, yet so filled with unspoken emotion that it took Yu Long's breath away. That's the kind of magic only true love can conjure, not the fantasy kind, but the real kind, the kind that sees every flaw, every fear, and still whispers, with certainty and grace, this is home. A love that outshone the spotlight as they stood together, wrapped not in spectacle, but in stillness. Yu Long and Mei Mei didn't need the glare of stage lights to shine. Their quiet connection lit up the space with something far more powerful, love that asked for nothing and gave everything. Mei Mei's gown was more than a vision of youth and beauty. It was a symbol of courage, her readiness to walk into the unknown, hand in hand with the man who saw her heart. And in her every poised step, every gentle smile, she silently declared, I am ready to stand beside you through calm, through storm. Yu Long saw not just a bride, but a partner, elegant, yes, but also steady, tender, and brave. A woman who would one day hold joy and sorrow with the same grace. A silent vow, a unified heartbeat. When their eyes met, the world hushed. No cameras, no fans, no noise. Just one rhythm, their hearts, now beating in unison. In that breathless stillness, a vow was made without words, a promise of trust, friendship, and a forever built not on grand gestures, but daily choices. They belonged to each other. And that was enough. From screen to soul, though born from a scene in The Fish and the Dragon, the emotions etched across their faces reached far beyond fiction. There was truth in Mei Mei's calm, depth in Yu Long's tearful smile. Their story stirred something deeply human in all of us, a longing to be seen, accepted, and chosen, not for perfection, but for who we are. This wasn't just a moment for fans. It was a mirror for every heart that's ever searched for love that feels like both a journey and a home. A love that elevates and transforms. Fame may cast its spotlight, but it is love that truly illuminates us, reshaping us into the best versions of ourselves. In Mei Mei, we see that quiet evolution, from stardom's sparkle to the soft radiance of someone changed by love. And in Yu Long, we witness a man unafraid to feel, to cherish, to let go of control in the presence of something real. Their love doesn't ask to be admired. It simply is gentle, grounded, and fiercely enduring. It reminds us that real love isn't about timing or perfection. It's about choosing again and again, through every season, through every silence. More than a scene, a shared dream. They weren't just acting, they were inviting us into a shared dream, one we all hold quietly in our hearts, to find someone who will stand beside us, not just under the spotlight, but in life's quietest, most uncertain hours. Sometimes, a single glance carries the weight of 1,000 promises. When Yu Long's eyes met Mei Mei's, their entire love story folded into one breathtaking, silent moment. In her gaze, he saw more than beauty. He saw laughter once shared, tears dried in silence, dreams chased and others gracefully let go. There were no scripted vows because the truth was already there, written in their eyes, as brilliant and undeniable as the morning star. This is the magic of true love. It doesn't need fanfare, it doesn't demand attention. It lives in quiet certainty, in the brush of a hand, in the look that says, I'm here. I'm yours. I'm home. That single, exchanged glance between Yu Long and Mei Mei wasn't just romantic, it was transformational. Through that tender moment in The Fish and the Dragon, they extended an invitation to all of us, to believe again, to hope again, to dream even when the world tells us not to. A legacy of love. Their story is a whisper to every dreamer. It's a gentle reminder that deep connection still matters. That love, real love, can withstand time, distance, and doubt when Mei Mei's shy smile met Yulong's tearful gaze, 1,000 hearts jolted with unexpected hope. Because deep down, we don't just crave romance, we long for a love that fills our lives with meaning, resilience, and unwavering support. Through their performance, they've offered more than a scene. They've given us a blueprint for loving bravely, for showing up, for building something sacred from the ordinary. This is more than cinema. In their hands, The Fish and the Dragon becomes a mirror, one that reflects our own longing to be chosen, seen, and cherished. Yulong and young Mei Mei remind us that the most powerful love stories aren't written in ink, they're written in patience, in sacrifice, in everyday moments of quiet devotion. So if their story touched your heart, don't just scroll past, like, share, and subscribe to Asian Star Trend, where every emotion has a home, and we'd love to hear yours. What's your love story? Share it in the comments, because love, after all, is a story best told together.